Well, hello everyone! Welcome to another Star Trek Online weekly stream. This is 10 Forward Weekly. For those of you joining us for the very first time, my name is Mike Fadum. I'm also known as Ambassador Kel, and I am your community manager. And this is 10 Forward Weekly. It's a stream that happens every Wednesday at 4 p.m. PT, unless something horrible has happened, on Facebook Live and on Twitch. Our Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Cryptic Studios, and that's the intro that I just decided I'm doing this time. Maybe I'll do it more in the future. Was it effective, new listeners? Do you feel welcomed? Tell me if you feel welcomed. As you probably know, today we are doing a Victory is Life Q&A with lead designer Al Rivera and lead systems designer Jeremy Randall, both of whom got pulled into a meeting that goes until 4:30. So for the beginning of the stream, it's just me. Just me. But that's cool, because we're going to dive into some cool stuff. We got a ton of fan art this week, and so I really want to jump into that. Yunners, yes, that was ad-libbed. That came out the top of my fabulously styled dome right now. So, yeah. Cool. So I'm going to dive into some fan art first, show us some of the beautiful creations you sent us. As many of you already know, if you want to have your work featured on the stream, nope. There we go. Featured on the stream. This is the email right here, ambassadorkel@gmail.com. Send me fan art, screenshots. We've doing dramatic readings of fan fiction on here before. We've shown off videos. Send me all of your cool fan creations, the stuff that you do to show your love for Star Trek Online, or your, wild rage at Star Trek Online, maybe, I don't know. And we'll show it off on the stream. This week is just some screenshots, but they're really cool screenshots, so you're going to like them. First up, we got a bunch of screenshots from someone named Alistair Morden, which sounds like an NPC from Neverwinter, I'm not going to lie. We should get Julia in here to see what she thinks about that. Primar 13, this is not my totally new blue hair. This is like my month and a half green hair. Yeah, it is turning... well, part of the problem is that you're seeing it on the green screen, which means the green is getting sucked out of it anyway. But then, yeah, it is fading, definitely. I need to get an update soon. Steven DeGranzio Jr., there is an audio alert to let you know when a queue is ready to join. It goes, boo-ee-oo. So maybe you have something wrong with your audio settings. Joshua Selig, when can we expect the next stage of the storyline? Without giving away too many spoilers. Soon. There was no spoilers at all. Anyway, let's see what Alistair Morden sent in. This is a really cool shot of, I think that's an Odyssey, at Earth Space Dock, getting a tune-up. And the same, well, not the same, yeah, the same ship, I think, from behind. Very nice. And then, I think updated Constitution class, also in the Earth Space Dock. Getting itself looked at, getting the nacelles tuned up. Oh, welcome back, Dirty Lever. Oh, it's a Sovereign. I'm sorry. It's a Sovereign. And then we have what I assume is Alistair Morden's character standing in Earth Space Dock, which looks awesome. I really love that map. All right. Then we've got two shots from Joseph Howard, who sent us this of the Enterprise J, which is the Universe-class Dreadnought. Some of these I know. Hanging out, again, at Earth Space Dock, because there's some great lighting there. It looks cool. And then the same ship at what I believe is the captain's table, but looking like it's going through warp and looking pretty freaking cool. Chaos by Design sent us this excellent wallpaper for the Jem'Hadar, which I really like. I really like this little, I don't know if you can see my mouse pointer, this little nebula-looking thing up here. It looks cool. Well, it is a nebula. I think I meant to say bird-looking nebula. Anyway, they also sent us this shot of from one of the cutscenes of Victory is Life. Oh, which reminds me, folks, today we are going to be discussing Victory is Life. We're going to be answering your questions about Victory is Life. And that means that we will be discussing some things that you might find spoilery. There will be spoilers over the course of this stream tonight. If you haven't played through all of Victory is Life, just be warned, some stuff may get spoiled. It doesn't mean you have to leave. Certainly doesn't mean you have to leave until 4:30, but some stuff might get spoiled. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Okay. Scrolling on back down. Where did we leave off? Oh yeah, Chaos by Design. They also sent us this awesome shot of the Jem'Hadar from, I think, it's from Turn the Tide. Looks like the Zenkethi station. And a Jem'Hadar fleet that you may or may not encounter during the story. And there's some familiar looking faces standing around in some sort of facility. I'm not going to go into what that's about. Those of you who've played it already probably know. Senti Carter sent us, well, something that won't load. Hold on. There it is. This is one of my favorites that we got this week. This is fantastic. They've already taken their Jem'Hadar to Ryza for a well-earned vacation. Good job. They need that after everything they go through. And an awesome shot of one of the new Jem'Hadar Vanguard ships flying off into space. Looking all cool. Yunners, who I see in chat on Twitch, sent us 2 images this week. First is Nimbus 3 Spaceport, with a reference to something. I have no idea what that could be a reference to. It's weird. My mind just blanked out. Just totally. And this awesome poster for DS9's 25th anniversary, which I really think is cool. It's a really nice, like, study in darkness and shadow and stuff. All right, then Resden sent us a bunch of stuff. This shot from everybody's favorite shot to take a screenshot in the Trek Online game, in Star Trek Online. Why did I call it anyway? This is when we did the screenshot contest for the new loading screens. We got, I think, 15 shots taken in this location, and almost everybody was leaned against the window like this. It was pretty classic. Then we've got this excellent one of. It almost looks a little bit JJ-verse, like people are parachuting down into the clouds. That's cool. And speaking of JJ-verse, well, this is actually the original Constitution. Actually, no, it's not. With that, no, it is. It is a Constitution, I think. Looking like it's flying away from an explosion, which I love. And here we have last week. Oh, actually, no, sorry. Beginning of this week, Monday night, we had a farewell party on DS9 to say goodbye to the old map. May she rest in peace. Now that she's been replaced by something far superior. And so you can see down here, you can see someone had recreated Kurland to put him in a scarf, and there's my character, who I didn't realize was dancing with 2 girls in kilts, but, you know, that's what happens at a party. What happens at a party stays at a DS9 party until Resdane takes a screenshot and sends it to me. Okay, that was a Pioneer class. I'm terrible at guessing classes from screenshots, guys. I should just stop and say, cool starship. Here we have the same party from above. I love that so many of you turned out to say goodbye to the map, even though the new map is so much cooler. And here's me dancing with Kurland, and I assume that's Resden, because that character appears in some other shots. And this is a cool one. This actually got tweeted to me before it got turned into the screenshot and sent in. So I'm going to give you a little story on it, which is this is one of the first things Resdane did when they got to Deep Space Nine, is they sat in this chair, which the way it's designed looks like Martok and Kurn are in deep conversation with you, which is fantastic. I'm sure Ryan, it's just Ryan. Ryan plays all the NPCs. I'm sure Ryan did that on purpose, and it's fantastic. It's a really nice touch. And here's the final Resdane shot, which is hanging out in their awesome, awesome Klingon ship over Deep Space Nine. It says, I love Deep Space Nine. My whole childhood is there. Salaknar just sent me some stuff. Okay, bear with me for a second while I pull it up. Do-do-do. Warren, that's actually a good idea. We could use the old map as old DS9. Okay, here we go. Excuse me for 1 second, folks. I am about to sneeze. There we go. Okay, so, yeah, Salaknar is Mark Bullman. That is the same person. So many of you have so many different names. Your Twitter name and your name on the stream and all that jazz. Anyway. Oh dear. Oh, Ryan, please no more. It hurts me in my soul. Let's see, where to go. This is the new Jem'Hadar carrier. That's a really cool shot of it. I think, again, the captain's table, flying along with one of its pets about to stream into battle. Philip117, sure, you can send in fan art for your changeling rights protest. It won't help. Robert Carroll Jukes, no, Al's not here yet. They'll be here around 4:30 if you missed the beginning of the stream. They both got pulled into a meeting. Well, there you go, John Sparks. That's good for you to have that consistency. Smutter12, I'm sure I do know you on Twitter. I know everybody on Twitter. SFC100, no, that was Jesse who was responsible for Tenebris Torquent, which is also an awesome episode. If you guys haven't played the last episode of Victory is Life yet, I don't want to spoil it too much. We'll probably talk about it later during the Q&A, but it is really freaky and really cool. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm going to dive into the game then, since I've got that pulled up and we're still waiting for some people. Captain Wurge, I don't accept friend requests on stream. Sorry about that. Let's dive into it. Looks like this battle zone is almost done, but we'll see if we can make it to a planetary assault before the end. This is playing on my new Jem'Hadar character, who's named Teleboro, because that was the random name that was given to my Jem'Hadar Boff, who I then decided was my Jem'Hadar character for the sake of this setup. So he left my Klingon character's crew, returned to the Dominion, and became part of this storyline. Primer 13, the Ferengi episode, Quark's Lucky 7, that was a really Herculean effort from the whole team to get a lot of that done, but Ryan was the primary creative force behind it. Oh, all right, we're doing the final assault. Let's go! Q Cullen, in the Q&A section later, there may be Victory is Life spoilers. We're going to do our best when we're asked a question that's spoilery to give you, mention that the answer is going to be spoilery so we don't get into trouble. Whoa. Timothy Champion, you will play it on console, and you will play it on console sometime later this summer. We haven't announced an exact date yet, but it's sooner than people think it's going to be. Robert Carroll Jukes, we don't talk about upcoming content. For those of you who are new to the stream, upcoming stuff that hasn't released or that we haven't announced yet, we don't talk about at all because it's, we don't want to set expectations for something that we're not ready to talk about yet, because then it comes across as promises, and when we break promises that we didn't actually make as promises, people get mad. So we don't talk about upcoming content. We don't want to disappoint you guys. All right, let's go blow up some asteroids. I'll link my two Jem'Hadar wingmen here. Okay, and we've picked up some seeker bombs. So this particular mission is a combination of all three queues. This is the final boss fight if you haven't seen it before. Oh, and I haven't updated the weapons on this guy at all. Oh well. Let's fire off as many pets as humanly possible. So you have to destroy the swarm around the main battleship, and then you have to destroy the battleship. And it's going badly because I love this ship, but I don't have it outfitted. I need to zoom out a little bit. This ship is huge. I love this ship and the amount of pets I get with it, but we've already got the pets there. Like, I'm really running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pets come out of this guy already. And I'm looking to get him some more abilities to do more pets, like summoning Nimbus pirates and Gamma recruits and all that good stuff. Let's fire off another Seeker Bomb. I think it's a little bit more clear over there now. But maybe not. Well, nope, we hit. That was a good hit. Solid hit. So even though I'm getting pushed away by their tractor beams, I'm going to keep firing Seeker Bombs into this thing. Because I seem to be in a good spot to actually make contact with it. Cthulhu, why didn't I outfit this ship? Because I literally made this character yesterday, and I spent all of yesterday hanging out in chat and playing content on my main character and chatting with you guys to make sure that most of the major issues that went live with the expansion got fixed, which it seems like a lot of them have. I'm actually really proud of how this expansion worked out. There's a lot of, there's still a lot of little issues that could be fixed, and then a lot of them are going to be fixed very quickly, but it seems to be really successful, and you guys seem to be really happy with it. Captain Senti says there are no outfits for the ship. That's a good point. I guess that's right. Duncan, you should talk to me about that. I have similar ideas. We'll see. I was having a conversation today. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, though. We got to make sure. Actually, if all of you lovely Foundry author people could just go through. I know there's still a lot of old bugs with the Foundry that have been around since 13.5. We're working on looking at those. But let me know if there's anything new, if there's anything major with the Foundry that's just like if new players were going to come in and check it out, would they find it a pleasant experience? Let me know about that stuff. Lucesi, I think there will be a list of known issues with the patch notes of our next update, so that'll be a little bit more. I've also been trying to go to all the different bug threads and let people know when things are known about and being fixed. There's some stuff that's just going to keep getting reported. There's no way around that. Like the fact that the Deep Space Nine ship selector console can only be used by one person at a time right now, that's really annoying. So lots of people are going to report it, even though we know about it and we're working on a fix. And I think it's already fixed internally. It's just got to get out there. Duncan, good to know. Is that list the same as the list you sent me about a month ago? Robert Carroll Jukes, what do you mean in the odd slash log you got last night? I'm not sure what that means. Let me know with more specific, and I can probably tell you what the deal with that was. Gotta refresh my fighters here. Horient, I do know how to add locations now. Oh, hey, we won-ish. No, we failed. I do know how to add locations. I had about an hour thing with Maria last night about or not last night, a week or two ago, about the process of adding maps. We were going to have meetings about props and costumes and characters, but Victory's Life came out, and that took all my time, so we're working on that next. So once I'm done being trained and all of that, then I have to find time in my schedule, but I want to get as much of the Victory's Life content into the game and ready, into the Foundry and ready for you guys to work with as soon as humanly possible. Philip117, why don't you just take my word for it that we want to do playable Changeling subs day and buy the ship anyway? I mean, it's cool. Chick Drummer 88, thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Justin Green, that looks like 4 questions at once. Break up the sentence into your actual questions. The interior of the ship for consoles is something that happened because of the launch of the game. There just wasn't time to get full ship interiors in. I know the team wants to actually get it done soon. It's just it's a question of time. Custom ship interiors is probably not something that's on the cards anytime soon. Does the Jem'Hadar ship bridge have a place to jobby? I'm not sure I know what jobby means, Don Scott. I'm going to be perfectly honest. So, JHuddle1, this is a great opportunity to teach you some things about bug reporting. Thank you for giving me that opportunity. If you just say the bug with the Credem Science event ship, or the graphic bug for the Credem Science event ship, I have no idea what you're talking about. And so I can't fix it because I can't go to QA and say, hey, test the Credem event science ship until you find a bug. Because they don't have time to do that. Nobody has time to do that. So, the best thing you can do is give me a very detailed breakdown of what exactly you want the problem is, and how it pops up and what triggers it. And then I can tell QA, they can confirm it, they can tell the designer that has to fix it, and the problem will get solved. Kiri Maya, I will let them know, but you'll be able to let Al know in a few minutes too. John DeGasman, I can certainly ask that, although make sure you remember, if I forget, ask me again in the open question section. Tim Riley, the issue with Lighting 1.0 on Deep Space Nine is a known one, and it's one that we are working on currently. It's one that I think it's happening to some players and not others. And for those of you who are experiencing it, if Deep Space Nine is just completely dark on Lighting 1.0, it's an issue with certain kinds of hardware, and we're trying to figure out who and what and where. But until then, the one thing that seems to help is going into your graphics menu, turning shadows off, hitting apply, and then turning shadows back on and hitting apply again. Seems to fix it for some people. We shall see. You guys come back here and defend me against these swarmers, please. Def comma, if there is an update tomorrow, patch notes will be issued later. Yeah, they usually come out after the stream because I have to put them up and I'm streaming. Captain Anthony Neris, I assume. Did I see the question yet you just asked? No, I didn't. Ask it again. Jimbo Stein, there's so many good places to submit bugs. You should submit them on Twitter. You should definitely submit them on the bug report forums on the official Star Trek Online forum. Sometimes people submit them on Reddit, and that's a good place because a lot of people look there. The forums are the best place because you're guaranteed that somebody's going to see that. But other places you can let me know are good too. What? All right. I have to go back around for those ships. John Sparks Jr., good to know. I will add that to the notebook. Hang on. Lighting 2.0 Badlands. Okay. Matthew Schwartz, will they ever change? Who's they? Cruel Cthulhu Dawn. We are putting more Spiral Wave Disruptor weapons in the, I believe, the Dilithium store. They were supposed to be there at launch, but there was a bug, so they will be going in hopefully in our next update. Have I already got? Oh, I've already got full Seeker bombs. That's why I can't pick that up. Our IP123, it actually is not caused by that. The audio issues are caused by a volume in the environment, which doesn't mean a lot, but it's something they know about and are fixed. It's nothing to do with the Herc attack. Duncan, I was told on Twitter you were going to ask that question. I don't know. I don't know how much time the character team will have to update Alien Gen parts. But I will let them know that people are interested in it. Will warp animations ever change? Probably. I mean, you'll get new warp animations if we get new types of warp, I guess is the best way to put that. Like, you know, your... like Discovery had a new type of warping out with the Spore Drive, and so we added that to the game. But otherwise, I don't see why they would. John Sparks Jr., please do. That would be great. I would love to have a screenshot. It really helps. Smutter12, I saw that earlier. I will pass it on to the team. Don't worry. Jesse Gray, we can't wait for you guys on console to play it either. I wish there was a way to make it... Did we win? Did we lose? No. We lost. That's okay. I'll still take the package. Lorena, yeah, we thought we actually already fixed the walking loop DS9 NPCs. So yeah, fixes that is going in hopefully very soon. Any chance of... no. Captain Anthony Reese, yeah, it does. There's a lot of questions coming in. I'm trying to answer as many of them as I can. John Sparks Jr., you can just send it to the STO Twitter. My handle is @AmbassadorKel. That works too. Oh, good. SFC 100 answered your question, Anthony Reese. Yeah, the KDF Jem'Hadar uniform didn't make it in time for Victory's Life, but it's coming. Let's see. How much time do we have till they're supposed to be here? 4 minutes? I'm going to try and run a swarm while we're waiting. Swarm. Duck Newton. Sorry. That's an obscure reference. JF Trekker 1988. Jeremy, I'm sure we'll talk more about that, but we ran into an issue very early on where players could just create a Jem'Hadar and pick up Delta and Temporal rewards immediately, and then kill that Jem'Hadar and create another Jem'Hadar and do it again. And so we had to create something that was equivalent to having to level up to 20, and so that's what we settled on. Ooh, there's a couple carriers here. All the pets. Justin Green, we might do an Enterprise expansion one day. I think there are certain newer Star Trek series that may occupy our attention for a little bit. Enterprise 1710E, you can change ships at DS9. You just have to wait in line because the console only accepts one player input at a time. We're fixing that. Captain Senti, I will get to the poster contest winners later this week. I got to get all the judges together. The contest finished on Friday, and Monday and Tuesday have been very Victory's Life focused for me. So that's the next step. Keep me alive. No. JD Foster rocks. We haven't announced the start date for the summer event, but we will be announcing that very soon. We just needed to give Victory's Life some time to, be the new expansion, get its feet wet, get all the attention it deserves for being as amazing as it is. I would actually love to do a Kelvin Timeline expansion too. I would love to get some of those actors in here. You never know. When the next movie rolls around, maybe we'll be able to do it. Send power! Smutter 12, I agree. I love that particular enemy type you mentioned that I'm not going to say out loud because spoilers. Lucas Atwood, that's a function that we know people want and we're looking into adding. CS Cheppers, there's actually no way currently to copy a character from PC, from console to PC Tribble. I understand why people would want that. It would be a cool idea if we could pull it off, but technically it's just not feasible right now. Oh, hey! Did you run here?
Well, I put on a hustle.
Did Al not run here? He just
take care of something real quick.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just
Well,
got out of an interview.
sit your butt down. I actually put you in the far chair.
I'll just
because-
hang out over
yeah,
here way
just-
off camera then.
Just come off camera and I'll actually put you on the screen. Here we go. Ready? It's Jeremy Randall's shoulder, everybody. You want to
That's good
get in here a little bit? There we go.
It's probably
Just
more
a
of
little
me than
shoulder.
anybody wants to see it.
Yeah, everybody say hi, Jeremy. Jeremy, for those of you who don't know, is the lead systems designer for Star Trek Online. He makes the numbers do the good number things.
I'll make him dance.
Make the spreadsheets go. For a second, I thought my ship was firing in an
I am
enemy
also the
that's
very
range.
well-known, world-famous voice of Captain James Kurland.
Who is here, but not
He's here.
Well, now apparently on the exchange right now, he's everywhere.
Yes.
Everybody's buying and selling Kurlands.
My goal is to make them the new de facto currency of STO. So instead of
energy credits, it's just Kurland.
well, a lot of the high-end traders now sometimes trade in keys. Like, that thing's worth 4.5 keys or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'd like it to be 12.5 Kurlands.
I think we should change it to energy Kurlands.
Energy Kurlands.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oops, I haven't repaired one of the satellites.
So we've been doing phone screenings because we have
Oh, yeah.
openings at Cryptic. If any of you are
Well, hey,
game
it's Al.
developers
Al,
and would
come
like a
sit in the
job-
middle, because that's how I organize you guys' names in the nameplate.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to interrupt Jeremy's
plea for resumes.
Please.
Yeah, no, if you're interested in working at Cryptic, crypticstudios.com/careers. I told all the Foundry authors to apply for the
Sure,
content
yeah.
designer position. I'm sure many of them
I
have.
believe there are multiple content
Yeah.
designer positions potentially.
Okay. Let me finish this queue before I just go straight to Q&A mode, guys.
Are you sure
So I'm
people
not
are
being a
listening?
jerk. Yeah, I'm quite sure.
Okay.
The chat streams.
Okay,
see my
Ryan
picture.
says 4 keys equals 12 Kurlands. So there you go. That's the exchange rate.
So we now have an official exchange rate.
You're
Yeah.
worth 4 keys.
Yeah.
No. He's worth 1. I don't know how to do that math.
Wait, did you say 12 Kurlands?
4 keys is 12 Kurlands.
Four
That's-
keys.
That means 1 Kurland is 3 keys. Or no, 1 key is 3 Kurland.
There you go.
Yeah.
So 3 of you are worth 1 key. So you
It's
are
like
a third
met-
of a key.
It's like metric conversion. Yeah.
It's
One
way
third
more
of a key.
painful than metric conversion. There's a reason that I am a community manager and Jeremy's a systems designer.
Yeah, and you just saw me do
Yeah.
math poorly live.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's why we own calculators. That's why we have
Yeah.
Excel. Like,
If
we
I,
just have to know the theories behind the math, not the actual numbers.
if I remember correctly from previous interviews on this very stream, Al is the reason you became a systems designer, right? Isn't he the guy who was like, you should systems design?
Yeah, I mean, I was just doing a podcast, and Al was like, you seem to know what you're talking about. Put in an application.
Which is weird because we've talked to him
And
now.
I think
and-
my first response was, are you serious? You're pulling my chain. And then, the rest is history.
It's not that hard.
Lies, deceptions. I've seen the look on Jeremy's face many a day, and I know how hard it is.
Is this a swarm queue?
This
right?
is a swarm queue, yeah.
Haven't
So,
played it
folks,
yet, I
get your question and fingers ready. Let me rephrase that. Get your questions ready for Al and Jeremy. We're talking about Victory's life today. As I mentioned earlier on the stream, that does mean there will be possibly spoilers for the story, but we will make sure to clearly mark them before we spoil the heck out of something.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe we just did.
Yeah, probably. I was showing screenshots of fan art earlier. I didn't realize somebody had sent me just cool screenshots they got of the cutscenes from the story. And it's like, oh, so that's a thing I can't talk about. Here's another thing that I can't talk about.
How are you doing on this queue?
I think we're doing okay.
Yeah?
We lost the Battle Zone boss fight like 3 times before you guys got here.
Good.
Because there's a lot of ships in that fight.
Good, yeah.
And I am not good at it.
No, I enjoy hearing when players lose.
Cryptic Studios, we care.
No, I mean, myself and at least one of the other systems designers are actually keeping a pretty close watch on a lot of feedback about the battle zone, about fighting the Herc in general to see
Yeah.
if we need to do any, if they need any tuning.
I will say the
attention.
Herc, I enjoy fighting them a lot more than I did in earlier playtests. They're you guys know they're super crazy annoying
changed
invulnerability
nothing.
shield thing.
No, we changed nothing.
It pops way less now.
No, we fixed
It used
that,
to
yeah.
pop like every hit.
Well, here's the thing, Mike. It used to be bugged.
Did someone submit a detailed bug report, Jeremy?
Well, we had an internal timeout that was supposed to prevent it from popping too frequently.
And that didn't happen.
No, the lockout was properly being applied, just not checked.
Oh, okay. You guys at home missed the playtest where one of our lead programmers didn't actually do this, but I think the thought of breaking his keyboard over his knee crossed his mind by the Herc. So how's everything going, you guys? How's the first day since Victory's life been?
I I kind of equate the launch of Victory of Life to Back to the Future. Is it Back to the Future 2 or 3?
Okay.
When-
I don't know if that's a positive thing yet. We'll see.
We're-
You're Biff,
Huh?
and you run the casino.
No, we're Doc Brown, and the DeLorean is coming down the street and has to hit 88 miles an hour at this right minute, and then
I think
the
that's
tree
Back to the
falls
Future
down
1.
and pulls
Oh.
the plug out.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
that's Back to the Future 1.
Isn't
You
that
gotta
two?
climb to the climb to the top of the clock tower and do the thing.
and so here comes the DeLorean down the street, and
that's
which is-
X4.
That's X4 launch date. When that's the launch date, that launch time,
Yeah.
and it's like a tree fell down and knocked out and so we climb up and it's too short. And then you have to tie it and slide down at the last minute. Could you pull it and unplug it on that side? And we slide down and it's like, poof, and then the lightning struck and then it launched and it was that was
Victory is
what,
life.
That's what happened.
Hashtag Victory
That's
is life.
exactly how we finished the game.
Yeah.
At like
10 p.m.
at
the
like
night
10
before.
p.m. the night before.
I had to leave to go take care of my daughter, and because really, as a community manager, I wasn't going to be doing anyone any good by just sitting around all night. And
But
so
were you the one
I
that
went to
brought
I was gonna say I went
Romulus
to I went and got
Yeah.
a crap ton of Monster Energy drinks and
Yeah.
snacks and
Double-
stuff for everyone, knowing
double stuff
double stuffed Oreos, chips and salsa.
That's
'Cause I was-
community management right there.
Wanted to make sure nobody died. I did
Yeah.
say enjoy responsibly, kids, because I could see certain system designers taking a 12-pack of Monster and
Yeah.
downing the whole thing
Yeah.
at once.
Some,
You know,
people,
that-
some people might have died.
That
I'm not sure.
sugar-free Monster was surprisingly good. Plugged right now. We're
Yeah,
getting
sugar-free
sponsorships,
Monster.
right?
Yep.
I
Yep.
wouldn't recommend
Yep.
it.
People are throwing questions out. I guess I could start doing the questions from chat if
Sure.
you guys want. Let's see. This one is probably an Al question, although Jeremy I think may have insights too. Will we ever be seeing playable Vorta or Founders, keeping in mind that we don't talk about upcoming content?
I think that
Maybe.
doing it as members of the Dominion faction would be difficult.
With the story we have, yeah, for sure.
They will not make any sense as a species, playable species for Victory is Life. It's just it is a Jem'Hadar story.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, originally thought that we would have other Dominion species
Yeah.
in Victory's Life. We've
Before
been
we
planning this
really
for like a year
finalize the
and a half
story.
ago. So
Yeah.
of course we'll have Vortas and Dosi
And maybe we even find a way to do changelings.
yeah, and that sort of thing. So but as the story took shape, it was clear that this wasn't going to make any sense. This wasn't going to make any sense for you to. Didn't even make any sense to have a Vorta bridge officer, right?
Yeah.
Because a Vorta bridge officer would never report to a
Jem'Hadar.
Jem'Hadar. So it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, especially because Vortas aren't like you can say, oh, this say Breen bridge officer is like redeemed and different from the other Breen and wants to join my Federation crew.
Sure.
But like a Vorta bridge officer is going to be a Vorta. They're cloned to
Yeah.
be a certain way.
Breen are independent thinking
Yeah.
beings, and Vorta are non-combatants. They're diplomats and spies.
Yeah.
maybe.
But all that said, so these species never didn't work out for Victory is Life, but that
No.
doesn't mean we will never ever do them, right?
I think that, like, I would be happy with finding a way to have a playable Vorta as an unlock after Victory is Life.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
If after you finish the story, which you can't right now, and
Spoilers.
To be continued.
that you have access to other
Mm-hmm.
Dominion species, that might be okay. But
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe even like other Gamma Quadrant species, the Dosi or the
Yeah,
Karema or
yeah.
something like that.
How did we do? Terrible.
we'll have to see how the story shakes
No, that
out.
looked like all right.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
all right. Okay,
It's
good. Well, let's
Pretty
switch over
firmly
to
mediocre, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're into
That's much
interview
better.
mode.
Now I know.
Now you know what you look like.
Look
Did-
behind you.
Al can't interview unless he's
Live
looking at himself.
DS9.
Yes. I can't do much at all without looking.
Yeah, this
at
actually is
myself.
probably an older version of the map. I recorded this backdrop for the Aaron Eisenberg interview before we launched, so
Oh,
I'm
so
sure
this-
there's
okay.
2 or 3 versions of Deep Space Nine ago. The wormhole is probably in black and white outside.
And
We
we're
recorded.
advertising for Fraps as well.
Yes. So just to be clear again, before we get started, guys, today
My name is Mike.
yes,
apparently.
oh god,
Giving Mike a hard time about his job is one of my favorite daily pastimes.
Trying to do my job is one of
Wait.
Jeremy's favorite pastimes. the amount of times I get an email from Jeremy of, "Did you see this thread on Reddit?"
Let's change
Yes,
chairs.
Jeremy, I saw this thread on Reddit.
Change chairs.
No, don't confuse everyone. Oh god. So, yes, let's introduce ourselves, I guess. My name is Mike Phantom. I'm the community manager. This is Al Rivera. He's the lead designer. That's Jeremy Randall. He's the lead systems designer.
Erland here.
And today we're going to be discussing Victory's Life, which just came out yesterday. We understand you may not have played through the whole thing yet. I didn't play through the whole thing until this morning, and it was literally my job to play the missions yesterday.
I haven't gone through episode 1.
So we might be answering some of your more spoilery questions, which means there will be spoilers on this show. We will try our very best to make them really clearly marked.
If you don't want spoilers, you should just log out.
Yeah, probably.
Honestly, just
all right,
log out.
but I'm going to go through chat and send questions to you guys'
I'm
way.
going to say something stupid.
Well, yeah, but that's an interview.
Too late.
That's normal.
That's normal. I guess I won't mention anything about the entertainment provisions again.
Oh, Al. Okay, so I'm going to go through, but just want to set a ground rule here before we get started. If you guys phrase a question as a question, I will pass it on to these lovely gentlemen. If you phrase a question as you guys should die, which I literally saw in chat yesterday on the game, we will not be passing it on to everyone. That's not going to happen. So remember, politeness, joy, all of the things that make Starfleet Starfleet. Don't be Klingons today.
Also,
I'll be all the Klingon you need.
Questions along the lines of like, when are you going to stop making the game bad?
I'm not going to pass this
Probably
on.
not going to answer
pass
those
this on.
either.
Yeah. J Huddle 1 just submitted his application for system designer. Awesome.
Excellent. Good luck.
We
Good luck.
hope to see you here.
You sure you're going to work for this guy?
Yeah. Are we hiring? Oh yeah, we are hiring a systems designer
Yeah,
too.
yes, yes,
Systems
yes.
and content. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And we just hired a UI artist. Great. Awesome. Anyway. Okay. So another Supreme Heretic asked a question about future stuff. Yeah, there's a delay over here. There's about a 7-second delay. Don't watch this. It's just going to confuse you. And I mean that in the nicest way. Which asks the question, which brings me to our other rule of live streams, which you may or may not know, which is we don't talk about upcoming content.
Do you have the dragon?
I don't know if I have the dragon. I have Admiral Quinn. I'm sorry, but the requested information of future content is restricted to those with
A little lower, and
clearance.
it'll look like it's actually Al's head.
There you go. Al,
Yeah.
your head is shrunk, and you are Admiral Quinn now. Oh, I'm trying to close it by clicking on the X. It's a screenshot, Mike. Okay, so we don't talk about future content because future content is changing all the time. Many of you saw the blog that went live before Victory's Life announcing content that wasn't actually happening in Victory's Life, and that was unfortunate. Stuff like that, we try to avoid stuff like that. We try to avoid talking about stuff when things are changing all the time because we don't want to set things up and then have you guys be disappointed. It's why we don't take pictures for Twitter in front of whiteboards that have stuff written on them.
I would don't know, and no one should do that.
No, that's a terrible idea.
It's a terrible idea. That being said, we just came from a playtest of some future content.
Yeah,
we did.
We did, and we're not going to talk about it.
Chris
Let me
Huston,
tell you all about it.
I can answer this one. Do you have a rough timetable for Victory's Life on console? Yes. Later this summer, and by summer we actually mean summer. We don't mean into fall. We actually do know the release date. We even know the date we're going to announce the release date. Which I will not tell you. Sorry.
Now, do you mean summer, like as in kids are on summer school break, or like the first day of fall is October 21st, so we could launch
what
October
in the heck
28th?
calendar says
Isn't
the
it?
first day of fall is
Isn't
October
it
21st?
September something?
For me, summer ends on August 31st and fall begins on September
Sure,
1st.
but like the equinox or whatever, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I know.
We're not-
I know my 4 American seasons.
All right.
I don't know about your pagan seasons over there, Jeremy. Okay. All right. I gotta actually ask some questions here.
Everything on console comes out a couple months after PC.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
pretty standard release schedule. So.
Yeah.
And the great news about console is that you will get the benefit of all the little bug fixes that may miss.
Yeah.
So you get a nice console always gets a cleaner release.
Lucas Atwood will pass this on to Jeremy because he's sitting right there. Romulan Battlecloak still having issues apparently on console where you can get stuck in cloak.
I think this is something to do with all toggleable ship abilities, and we're still investigating it. We thought we had squished it before, but apparently we didn't squish it enough. But we think we understand some of the fundamentals of why it occurs, and we'll take another pass.
Okay, this is one that I knew was going to come up.
If you apply for a systems design position, you can come and fix that.
Yeah.
So this is something that I knew was going to come up, and I emailed Jeremy about it earlier, but I don't know if he saw it, but we're going to dive into it anyway. I have my response, but I want to hear yours as well, which I think is similar to mine. Logie Boy wants to know what happened to the original level 61 reward of a Tier 5U upgrade token.
That you have a very well phrased.
You thought my response was good?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So the answer to what happened there is
because mine is basically oops.
Yeah,
but you
mine is oops too, but it's a more detailed oops. And the detailed oops is that the original way this was designed, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Jeremy, was that you were going to be able to get an upgrade, a token to get a tier 5 ship when you hit 61, and then an upgrade that would only apply to that ship, as opposed to just getting a tier 5U upgrade token. Now, the way the blog was worded did not make that clear. It was attempted to make that clear, but it didn't. What happened was, as we moved further down the design process, it became very clear that that wasn't the thing that we would be able to do for Victory is Life. And so the decision was made to make it just a tier 5 ship. Unfortunately, that decision was not communicated to the actual blog writing. And so the blog went out, and I didn't know any better because I didn't know the decision had changed. So the blog was out there for several weeks, unfortunately, with incorrect information.
This is one of those things where it kind of... The blog went out assuming that we could get something working, and then we decided that we couldn't get it working, which was going to be more work to get it working. The current form worked, so we just stopped working. I forgot to tell you that we weren't going to do that thing anymore.
Yep. Always email your community manager, folks, on everything.
But I'll admit that the whole level 61 prize has just been a bit of a miscommunication on our end. Like the fact that we just said, you get a tier 5 ship. We could have been a lot clearer about the fact that it's a specific sub-list of tier 5 ships that you can choose from. That sort of thing. So, our bad. But what you're currently getting is essentially what is designed. It's working as intended. Cool. The problems you're experiencing are really just all on our communication end.
Yep. Okay, so JDF Foster Rocks wants to know, what was our... I'm sort of paraphrasing his question to make it a little more... but what was our thought process behind including an episode like Quark's Lucky 7 in the thing in this thing, and will we do more humorous episodes in the future? And folks, before we answer this question,
spoilers.
Okay, go ahead.
Quark's Lucky 7. So let me start by first answering the latter half of that question: will we do more humorous episodes? Humor terrifies me. Humor is really, really hard. It is one of those things that I really shied away from Star Trek Online, not because I don't think Star Trek should have humor, but it's a very slippery slope to turn into camp.
Well, and some of the best episodes of Star Trek are humorous, like Trouble with Tribbles and things like that.
Yeah. Yes, and they're very hard to pull off. Right? Humor is way
also some of the worst episodes of Star Trek
are humorous. Right, it's data dancing.
It's subjective, so
And what can happen is that it can quickly degenerate into campiness and not only just ruin the drama, but end up turning Star Trek Online into a parody of Star Trek, which is when you're dealing with a project now that's coming up on its 9th year and people are getting antsy to let's do something a little different and have some fun with it.
Yeah.
And then you end up with things like changelings and lava lamps, or which has come up, or just really weird punny kind of things like costumes of I'm just going to walk around as Baylock on a stick, with no torso, or a Baylock balloon. Some of these things may sound awesome, but then they start coming into really
Styrofoam rocks.
Styrofoam rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a thing where when we were doing
Agents of
Yesterday for the original series expansion and the Gorn, we wanted to make sure that we made TOS look like TOS, not like a modernized version. So we didn't want to see zippers on costumes, but we wanted to see the sets look like they were painted cardboard and styrofoam rocks. And that was because we were just trying to capture that experience. And some people took it too literally, and literally when you threw the Gorn threw the rock, it bounced off the head like a styrofoam rock, and
it doesn't end there.
And then because so instead of it like crashing like a boulder that looks styrofoam, it would hit the head and then bounce. And then the audio guy says, "Oh, okay, I guess they want something comical."
Oh no!
And then they added a boing, sound effect, and it really irritated me because now that's the problem of a slippery slope of adding comedy, right? And then all of a sudden it started becoming parody, and says, we're not taking it seriously. We can't do that. So in general, we've shied away from comedy unless we're really, really smart about it.
Yeah.
Ferengis gave us an opportunity to have the comedy, because we had a guideline, we had a template from Magnificent Ferengi.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
This is Ferengis are a little bit like this. They're a little slapsticky. They're like,
Yeah.
right. That's just how they are. And we had an episode from the show to emulate, to say, let's
Yeah.
make it like that. Let's have that fun experience, and we could contain it in this realm. And we gave it to our designer Ryan Levitt, who I think's been on the show before
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And he's a funny guy. And this is a perfect thing because he's wanting
Sometimes
to always.
he goes over that line.
Yeah. Ryan?
Yeah, but he's
What?
so Ryan can definitely be campy, and he's antsy to add comedy and says, "Okay, here's your outlet.
Yeah.
Here, do it. Don't do it over there.
But
Don't make campy
between
names."
he and with the aid of Paul, our writer,
Yeah.
kind of
Capturing the
reining him
essence.
in on occasion.
Yeah.
But they did a ton of character study about
They did.
Quark and Rom and
Well,
how they would interact with
And
one
I
another.
remember how many different story meetings there were for Quarks. Like that mission was I think the longest to break of any of the stuff we worked on. To the point where I was even in one of those story meetings. I actually got invited to a story meeting because there were so many. They were like, "Sure, bring in the community manager.
So-
Can't hurt."
So the original idea was from our Stephen Rakosa, our executive producer. That was I don't remember where he came up with it, but he said let's do a heist.
Yeah.
We
right?
wanted to get the Sword of Kahless.
Well, yes, that was something that I've been kind of sitting on for a long time. So
Yeah.
where we dropped the Sword of Kahless at the Iconian ship.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers. And so we have to find a way to get that back. That was the long-term goal that I wanted. Was that the Klingons would get their mojo back by retrieving their Excalibur, and that would be how they would, that's what they need to get, right? And so so we need to get that Sword of Kahless. And so
We were also itching to get Quark and Rom into the
Yeah.
DS9 expansion.
yeah.
So,
How do we get all the Ferengis together, Quark, Rom, and Nog?
and Lita, because we love working
Yeah.
with her.
Yeah.
So.
And get them together to have classic Ferengi banter. And it really originally wasn't an idea to be a Ferengi heist in order to get the Sword of Kahless, but we wanted a Ferengi thing, and we wanted a way to get it. And then Ricosa said, "Why don't we just do a heist?"
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then he says, "Okay, let's base it off of Quark's Magnificent Ferengi."
Yeah.
And
And it's such a Star Trek thing to do, to take an episode and turn it into a different genre entirely. Just do a heist film.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things I love about a lot of sci-fi stuff, but Star Trek lends itself to it especially well. Is Star Trek has a very specific genre, but it also can lend itself to other genres like heist films or like
They've done a Western,
Yeah.
Fistful of Datas.
Yeah. Then maybe they'll do another one better one day.
I was thinking more of the TOS one, the
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
which I can't remember now, but the one with Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
Can't
Or
remember.
DS9 did a bunch of episodes that were straight
They
war
did.
movie
DS9
episodes.
did a heist.
Yeah, they did.
They did
DS9
Yes,
did
indeed.
a James Bond
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
some of these involve the holodeck, but they can get away
Yeah.
with it, so we can get away with it.
Yeah.
Some of them shouldn't
Yeah.
be spoken of, but there is a scene. There is a midget riding on top of
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of things that
Kirk.
don't need to be mentioned.
Yeah, I didn't. There's a lot of TOS
So-
that I haven't seen. Some of
Oh,
it
yeah.
I'm very glad that I haven't seen.
Quark's Lucky 7, I think, is probably our most complicated, in-depth episode that we've released to date.
Yeah,
I mean, technically, story-wise, storyboarding, like the animations, environments, everything about it is. Each individual part of it is among the top most complicated, and then you put them all into the same episode.
Yeah.
it is actually why we released Renegades first. That's basically our test bed for
Yeah.
that technology of
Yeah.
being somebody else.
Yeah.
So that was we released
That
that.
was
as-
our testing ground of that screws up your bar. Let's fix that.
Yeah. So-
But
Which
also a
we said we
player
went
testing ground to see
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
players reacted to the idea of
not
being
playing
someone
playing
else.
a mission as not themselves.
Yeah, and a lot of it's interesting because we mentioned, I think you may have blabbed about it on a podcast at some point, that we were building up to some really technically difficult episode in the future that was coming for X4.
Yeah, that
And a lot of people were saying, well, was it Renegade's Regret? No, Renegade's Regret was the testing ground for the really technically difficult
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, in many
It's Quark's
regards.
Lucky 7, guys. That thing.
In many regards, we published a prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it took that took the longest amount of time. It was probably the most expensive episode because of all the voice acting talent that
Yeah.
we had to get into
Yeah,
the game.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was, that's that was the main reason we wanted to get all of those Ferengi actors in there.
And I'm from my side of things, I'm very curious to hear more feedback from players, like how they felt about doing. Aside from the story, which is fantastic in Quark's Lucky 7, playing as not yourself, how does that land in terms of gameplay? Because personally, I'd love to do more of it. And find new ways to continue to utilize it for it's storytelling and for mechanical fun times.
I think it's a line to walk, because what you don't want STO to become. This is me taking up a community manager hat and doing personal opinion on the stream for a minute, but you don't want STO to become the story of all these wonderful actors we hired while your captain is off to the side. You still want it to be your story. I think the reason Lucky 7 works so well is because you're a big part of the story as well, in addition to flying.
You're the getaway car.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I wouldn't want to do like an expansion that was like the Adventures of Picard, where you play Picard. Like I wouldn't want to do that. I keep saying the man in Dragonheart 4. We must be able to afford him.
So we might. I'm sure we'll do more of those in the future. I think we're going to be very, very selective about it. It's not something I would expect every season to happen. If the right confluence of this is a really great idea, this can't be told any other way. And you can hybrid it too. You could have an episode where nothing is planned. I'm talking brainstorming right now, where you start off as the player and then you take over as someone else and then pick up back up as the player again.
You have to program an exocomp, and so there's a little like fly through the sewers or something.
I'll be honest. The reason I wanted this technology years ago is I wanted you to ride around in a Voth mech on the Voth battleground, and when you click on it, you jump into it, and then you could drive around in the Voth mech, and that was the original intent of this technology that started back then and didn't get finished.
So that was, when we go back and fix all the bugs in the current Voth battle zone, we can add the mechs.
There's no bugs in the Voth battle zone.
There are so many. There are so many. How?
So nothing to see here. So I don't know if we answered the question. Are we going to do what was the inspiration? I think I covered that.
Yeah, and are we going to do more? Probably.
Probably. I don't know when or why or how. And
it's a difficult line to walk.
And humor, would we be doing more humor? Very selectively. That would be where it makes the most sense to bring
where it serves both the story and the IP
and the character.
I
don't want to turn Picard into a goof or something like
that.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
No, that didn't mean we're getting Picard.
But no, we're not getting Patrick Stewart. As much as I'm like the man in Dragonheart 4, I just bring it up every time. Straight to Netflix movie, man. Let's see. That's Thomas Elkins. That is a great idea. I can answer the question, but I'll ask it so you guys know what it is. Would we ever consider going back and remastering old cutscenes now that we've got Weston, and Weston is amazing and all of his cutscenes are amazing? There's a lot of work that would have to go into that, and it's work that would mean that we weren't doing new cutscenes for new content. So I think it's something we may do someday, but it's not something that's likely to happen anytime soon.
I think Weston's already been peeking around looking to see what he could do.
Oh, really?
So
that sounds like Weston.
It's
he's an overachiever.
He is.
Yeah.
The first week on the job, they were like, just make some emotes so we can see what you do. And he made like 15.
27.
27? Was it actually 27?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's my job to catalog them and figure out how to get them into the hands of players.
Okay, so Horiant has a question. That's an Al question. After deciding to make this a DS9 Gamma Quadrant themed expansion, what was the initial idea? What was the germ of the idea that led to the specific story you told?
Who's the bad guy? And this was something that went back.
That hurts.
We're done here.
Yep. I'm sorry.
So this is something that went back, because this is not just an X4 thing, because our story all leads into the next story. So because that was the whole Zenkethi Crusade, and then what led up to the Zenkethi Crusade, and so all of the story.
Which gives you an idea of how long we've been working on this.
This has been a target we've been aiming for since the Iconian War. And so.
Yeah, because we introduced the Lucari.
Right.
They had the conflict with the Zenkethi.
Right.
Why were the Zenkethi on their crusade?
Right.
It all goes together.
So we knew we had to do a Deep Space Nine expansion. We wanted to land it on the year that was the anniversary of Deep Space Nine, and and we needed a bad guy. The reason why we actually did the Delta Quadrant first, because there's a lot more bad guys in the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah.
There's because as Janeway goes through her path of destruction through the Delta Quadrant, she makes a lot of enemies. And there's just a lot of bad guys. There's a lot of technology, a lot of crazy culture throughout there. And so that was really easy and rich to just kind of make story for. But when we looked at the Gamma Quadrant, well, who's the bad guy? It's the Dominion. And because they've already crushed every other bad guy. There's not conflicting forces out there.
Yeah.
They've crushed all the bad guys, and everyone just is just under the thumb of the Dominion. And I didn't want to tell another Dominion war.
Yeah.
It's just been done on Deep Space Nine. We already did a Dominion conflict in one of our in the 2800 arc, and I don't want to do another one. So, who else is out there that's bad? And with a little bit of research, is like, well, it's the Hur'q. The Hur'q from the Gamma Quadrant, and the Hur'q have terrified the Klingons in the past. They're the only race that have ever defeated the Klingons, and we know very little about them. And they have a tie to. They had the Sword of Kahless for some reason, and we want to do a Sword of Kahless thing.
Yeah.
So wow, that was another checkbox that worked out really well. And we know very little about them, and we can kind of make up a lot of their history and their lore. And see how that can fit into the Gamma Quadrant and everything else in the Star Trek. And so that was the nugget. It was like, okay, they're mysterious, they're different. It's going to be something we haven't seen before, a different type of gameplay, different type of motivation, and so yeah, that was the nugget of the idea of that. And we did, and I thought it'd be interesting because if we want you to play a playable Jem'Hadar, it's going to be really hard if you're just going to be at war
with the Jem'Hadar,
with the Federation or the Jem'Hadar or whatever you're going to do. Excuse me. So that just was just going to make things easier. Let's just make the Jem'Hadar. They're actually going to come to help for you. You know, and that's when we started planting the seeds back in the Iconian War. Where it's like, well, they're going to come and help you first, and now.
Yeah.
Now,
I was going to say you planted this back all the way back at midnight. Was letting me
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah, so we can come back and now they come back to collect their debts.
Way
basically.
back then, we didn't know all the details, but we knew we were going to the Gamma Quadrant. We knew that we were going to tell a Gamma Quadrant story, a DS9 story. So laying those foundations was important.
Let's see. There was a question that I for Jeremy. Oh yeah, Jeremy. This question is from Heffernanks, but I want you to know
Heffernanks.
It's from me.
Okay.
Also, why is this going to sleep? Don't go to sleep.
I will not purchase a SAG membership.
Okay. Well, that wasn't it. No, my question is, because they want to know.
You could have a
Will we ever be adding, now that we've got things like the Jem'Hadar carrier that have, 7 pets at default and could probably get more, will we ever be adding a specialization or more things that boost your hangar pets or your summonable pets in space?
Specialization.
Carrier specialization.
Mike, we don't talk about future content.
Right, no, I just want to know, Jeremy. Are we doing this, Jeremy? Jeremy?
We don't talk about future content.
Jeremy.
No, so pet management and pet buffing is an area that we haven't paid a lot of like uniform attention to. So
Ricos has been dogging you for a carrier specialization, but
I know.
it's really specialized.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Right, but it would make my experience better, so prioritize.
It would be difficult to do something like that as a specialization. Not impossible, but difficult because it would tend to emphasize a specific subset of ships.
Right.
Yeah.
We have like 800 or something ships in the game, and probably only 100 max have a hangar bay at all.
Yeah.
So
it causes that problem like we had with skills where we had our old skill tree had an escort skill and a cruiser skill, and then you got those specs and you didn't want to use a different ship because you're already an escort spec.
And you already put so much time into it. That makes sense.
So the best answer I could give is that's interesting, but it does present some problems, and I don't really know if those problems are surmountable.
It's rewards that only work for certain people. And
maybe a console.
And then as soon as you do it, it's like, when am I going to get my science ship one? When am I going to get my escort one?
Right.
So it's hard. It's hard and expensive. It's not impossible, and it's come up multiple times.
And really, that's all design boils down to: is which problems do you want to accept? Which ones do you want to try to solve?
Yeah. Matthew Schwartz, just so you know, literally no one sitting on this panel right now can answer a question about warp animation and whether we'd change it. Like I said earlier, we probably wouldn't, but anytime soon.
The warp animation.
He wants the warp animations to be specifically one that he liked from one of the movies from Generations. That's not something any of us are going to answer, so I appreciate that you keep asking it, but it's not going to get answered today. Sorry. Okay.
You can ask Thomas.
Yeah, we can.
Thomas
ask
won't be
Thomas.
able to tell you,
But we can ask him.
but you can ask
But
him.
he'll have a lot to say. No
He
doubt.
will. He will. He will. Okay, so Cardassian question.
Sure.
Somebody said, "Are there Cardassian buffs?" I can answer that. Yes, there are, but they're only available if you if you have a playable Cardassian unlocked.
Correct.
Are there Cardassian outfits and weapons coming soon?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I thought I did, and then apparently I didn't.
Okay.
Well,
So-
there's. I mean, you get the Cardassian uniform. If
No,
you-
I thought that was the case as well, but apparently it's not
Yeah,
there,
you-
and I don't know if that's a bug or because it didn't make the cut.
Yeah, we need to
So
Uh,
I'm
figure that
still
out.
investigating that.
I was
today.
expecting there to be one, so maybe it's a bug or
Okay.
it's a cut that
Yep.
I'm not aware of. That to
Okay.
be standard Cardassian
So,
uniforms.
The
And as far as
Cardassian uniforms
weapons,
were in
yeah.
the plan at some point, and so
Mhm.
probably if they did
For
end up getting
Cardassians,
cut,
specifically.
if they
Cardassian.
didn't end up getting cut, they will probably be back in the plan somewhere later down the line.
Right.
All right, I'll look into that.
Okay, cool. Terran uniform from Discovery. We know you guys want that. We know how bad you want it. It was
Guess who else
it
wants
was,
it?
It was the second most requested Discovery feature behind the Discovery version of the USS Enterprise. So
Not
we
the
know
fidget spinner of doom.
that was, I think, 15th. It was actually underneath her sword, but that may have been because I've spent so many streams going, I need her sword. I need it in my life. Give me her sword. Let's see. Are there going to be... Well... there's a lot of upcoming content questions here, guys. A lot of questions about, when are you going to give us X? Which we can't really...
I really. Those are the most impossible questions. If you ask
Right.
the question, when are you going to do X? When are you going to do Y? It's a completely impossible
says.
question. We're just not going to answer it.
Yeah.
It's an impossible
It's
question
because
to answer because it's always the feature that you care about, and we care about all the features.
Well,
and
to be honest, it could be something that I would. It could be a question about something that I'm developing today when I go back to my
and we
desk.
can't talk about it.
But tomorrow we could decide I'm no longer developing
Yeah.
that.
Right,
Yeah.
and it could be wait, maybe we won't do it. Maybe
could
we
be
want to do
something
it.
we're
Maybe
not
we
doing.
are working on it.
Yeah.
And either way, we can't talk about it.
And
I don't
like,
have an answer
if
for
we're
you.
not working on it, we don't want to say we're not working on that because people will take it as we're never going to work on it, which
Yeah.
is not true.
And if we are
There's
working
lots
on it,
of
we
things.
can't say we're working
Right,
on it.
because we don't know what's going to happen with it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's not a matter of us not wanting to answer you. It's we're not able.
yeah,
Like,
and or
Not-
it
not
comes with like
safely
when
at
you're
the
gonna
very least.
make this class of ship, when you're gonna make
Yeah.
this or anything, when we're
Yeah.
gonna get this thing.
Just-
There is no when. Here's the answer. We're gonna do all of it. Yeah,
Eventually.
but eventually,
on a long enough
all
timeline,
the ships,
everything will happen.
all the Discovery thing, all the Kelvin things, all the TNG things, all the V'ger things, all the Borg things, all the PvP things, all the other things.
In
all the ship
2030,
things.
when season 57 of Discovery ends, I've done the math wrong on that. I don't care. We'll have done all of the
I have
things.
all the things, and so, but I don't know when.
Why do we always, for years, avoid questions about playable Borg ships? We literally just answered that question. We just spent 10 minutes answering that question. I'll put the image up again. There it is. Okay.
I'll comment on that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not that we're doing anything, but I think 3 or 4 years ago, I made a prototype of a flyable Borg ship just to see what
player flyable.
what would it be like and what problems it have, and it sucks because you can't tell which way you're facing.
Right.
Yeah.
I made a sphere and I was like, which way am I going? I don't
When we
understand.
tried it with a cube too, that
Yeah.
wouldn't turn. You would
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
move your.
Yeah, we even invented
vector.
a different type of move. Instead of banking like this, the ship actually had strafing. So instead of turning, it turned
Yeah.
like this.
That sounds pretty cool.
It
I'm not gonna lie.
sounds
It
cool.
was novel, and it was interesting
It's
to play
novel,
with.
yeah. But it was just a prototype to see what kind of challenges we would be looking at, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
So because first of all, it doesn't bank, but we can solve that one already.
But I had a great idea that I'll pitch to you right now. If we ever do a playable Borg faction, everybody that joins the faction has permanent, always on. You can't turn it off. Voice chat.
Voice chat.
Available, always on with
Yeah,
everybody
right,
else
right,
that's
right.
a member.
Why
everyone else
do
is a
all
Borg.
of you designers have only terrible ideas for Borg?
I think. Look, we got the players right here. Tell us if
Maria-
you love it. I know you.
Maria's got her unplayable Borg. You've got your voice chat only Borg. If we ever do, we know how much you guys want to play Borg. If we ever do it, it's more likely to be a cooperative Borg, not collective Borg, because collective Borg experience would suck. And we know it's something you want to do. It's something we most likely will do eventually, but it's something that we're not going to do tomorrow.
Yeah. 20 years down the line, it will have been done probably.
There are certainly a lot of challenges. The ship was like I could not tell which way I was flying.
Yeah. Something interesting that I noticed, and Kevin Milligan was asked a question, but I wanted to share this with you guys. I know people love our summer event. I didn't realize how much people love our summer event because Victory is Life came out right when we would normally announce our summer event, and about a third of the things that I've been getting, in addition to all the stuff talking about Victory is Life, is when are you going to announce the goddamn summer event? Which surprised the heck out of me.
We have an expansion coming out, guys. Talk about that.
11 Star Trek actors. But no, we are having a summer event this year. We haven't announced the dates yet, but it will be soon. And I actually mean soon.
We don't want to eat our own lunch know, in terms of marketing. We have to focus on things.
Yeah, and Victory's Life has been a big focus for everyone's time. I will say...
eat my own lunch?
No.
I mean...
I'll say this without talking about upcoming content.
It's my lunch.
It's like having your cake and eat it too. Of course, if I had my cake, I want to eat it. I never understood that.
You can't, Al. When you buy a cake, you have to just look at the cake forever.
It's terrible.
The saying means once you've eaten it, you no longer have it. Get it? You can't have it and have eaten it.
Well, then I could get 2 cakes.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So you can have your cake and eat 2 cakes.
And my lunch.
The winner of philosophy.
Yeah.
So buy 2 cakes.
Then
eat them both.
Yeah, I will say cake. Thomas and George have been working on the outfits for the summer event. I've heard about what they're going to be, and they're amazing. And that's all I will say about that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I want to say more.
I know, but we can't. Let's see.
I'll say there. Can I say that? What?
No.
No.
I want to surprise them when the blog comes out. If we announce it now, it'll be on Reddit tomorrow, and then all of the thunder of actually announcing it.
I want to tell you things, but the
that's me.
Here
I'm a dictator.
I have no control over this project whatsoever.
Yes, that's right. I control Star Trek Online. Oh God, I shouldn't say that. They're going to tweet me.
It says lead designer here. You should say it over there.
They're going to tweet me about that, you guys. I have worked on one project ever that might make it actually into game, and I've been working on it for like 8 months now.
You can do it.
Is that thing that I set you up with?
It's the thing you set me up with, and
it's still ain't done?
It's still ain't done because I don't have any free time to work on it. It's a full content designer thing, but I'm working on it. I've got ideas I have to talk to you about at some point. Anyway, for the voice of the Cisco in the one episode. Guys, that
Spoiler.
What did we use? That was audio from the TV series. As we've used
we did the same thing for the anniversary episode where Odo's voiceover where he says we have to talk. We have a pipeline to CBS if we need to pull lines from the show. We can call them and they can actually pull the voice track out separate. We don't actually just pull off a DVD or Netflix or something. Yeah. We get the actual asset from the audio track from CBS if we request it.
Quality can be inconsistent.
Yeah, the quality is very inconsistent. But I hope we hooked it up because Renee re-recorded that line.
Yeah,
hopefully we re-hooked it up.
So if you replay Solo Encrypted, you'll hear
it. Sounds better.
I think we did.
Does he just say we need to talk still, or has he actually got a full line there now?
I think all he says is we need to talk.
Okay.
I think we did some of that for Agents of Yesterday too with the
we did it all over UHSS when you wanted to talk to Uhura. That's her voice line is actually pulled from the animated series.
Oh really?
Yeah. I don't remember who else we might have pulled. But
maybe something from Sulu, because we never got Koenig.
No, I don't think we pulled Sulu because of contractual problems. But yeah, we've done that, and so that's a line from some episode that we combed through. There's a wonderful site that our writer Paul knows about.
Maybe Bones. Somebody in chat just said it was from Bones.
That sounds about right. Yeah. There's a wonderful site somewhere, I can't remember what it's called, but Paul uses, where someone has transcripted every episode of Star Trek. So if you want, when we're looking for something, we can just do a search for a couple line, and then it will just, it's in...
And then we go to CBS and say, there was a project I was working on, we talked about months ago, where I had to do that for a thing we can't talk about because upcoming content, and it may not happen, because I don't think anybody's done anything on it in like 2 months, so I don't think... Yeah, anyway, but I did that with some stuff, and it was interesting.
Good story.
Yep, it got away from me. Because that sentence started with me being like, I was doing that for that thing, and then I realized I couldn't say what the thing was.
But I can't talk about it.
And it really got away from me.
That's why we don't
JD Foster Rocks wants to know what the process is for reaching out to the actors to come onto the game.
That's all you.
Yeah.
That's all me. Well, it's changed. I used to ask CBS for their contact info, for their manager's contact info, and they would give me that. Or I would just approach them at a Star Trek convention
Mm-hmm.
and start and ask them if they were interested and engage their interest and show them that I'm a real thing and get their contact info there. So that's how it started. At this point, we've gotten so many actors that we have actors approaching friends of the company now. So a lot of people reach out to Chase or Denise, and they get to us and say, "Hey, this person is interested." And
Didn't
so
Aaron kind of help us get in
Yeah.
touch with?
Aaron got us in touch with some people.
Yeah.
I've had, I think, oh gosh, I forgot. So there's so now that we have connections, they can help us connect with other people. But there's lots of cold calls at this point now. We just have a membership for IMDb Pro, and you can go there and you can find their managers right online.
Yeah.
And we just contact them directly through IMDb Pro. And if I can't get through to them through that, because sometimes they probably don't think maybe they think take me seriously, then I'll maybe reach out and say, hey, do you know this? I'll ask one of our actors that we have a relationship with and ask them if they know if they know this person, and they'll get us in touch. And if not, then I go to CBS and say, can you help me get in touch with them? And they'll say, and they'll help me with that. So that's how that works.
Everybody say hi, Star Citizen, because my friend just messaged me, and apparently we're on in their offices right now. So hi, Star Citizen.
Hi, Star Citizen.
Glad you're watching our stream. I hear one of their developers actually did a stream of our game last night and had some really nice things to say.
There's quite a few folks on the STO team. You know, we're ship nerds.
So. It's who told me about the Star Citizen article?
Ryan was watching the stream.
Ryan was, yes, and said some really wonderful things about it. And I'll say that is thank you for that, because that is the highest praise to get recognition from.
Oh, it was Disco Lando. Hi, Disco Lando. He's in chat now.
Okay, yeah, so highest praise. I don't know if it was Disco Lando. I don't remember who it was, but it was someone from Star Citizen who loved the game, and it is the highest praise to get recognition from your peers.
Yeah.
In the industry.
Especially,
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because
other
somebody
people
in our
consider
chat
it.
immediately started asking the person from Star Citizen when they're getting their Star Citizenship. You guys, we just talked about this. Anyway, thank you.
So thank you for the kind words.
Yeah.
And for the peer recognition. I'm very happy over here.
You got fans here as well.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
My name is Kodos. Asking when we can expect fixes for. They're specifically requesting Gamma recruit objectives, but I'm assuming other bugs that launched yesterday.
The ones that I know about are the spec points not being tracked and the fleet joining.
Yep.
And both of those will be fixed.
Both of those will be fixed soon, but we're not saying exactly when. Most likely in their next maintenance. But again, we haven't even said when our next maintenance is yet. Will we ever do a giveaway contest where a player can win a voiceover? I think what they're at. Well, there's two things they could possibly be asking there. They could be asking, will we win like a personalized message from an actor, which is something we might maybe be able to do one day, but that's hard. Will they ever win a voiceover in the game? No, because we are a Screen Actors Guild game.
Unless you're a Screen Actors Guild person, and then we still won't do it. But at least it wouldn't be a problem.
I might do that.
This is why I don't get my SAG card, because I don't know if I could get hired by us if I did.
No, we would. They've killed you twice now.
Yeah.
They killed you at Midnight. They
still
killed
won't
you in
stick.
Scylla, and now you're standing on DS9.
But as far as like getting a personalized message from an actor, that's not undoable. That's doable. But what's not doable is picking the actor you want. It's like, okay, I don't know who we're getting next. Well, I kind of think I know who we're getting next, but I don't know if we're getting said person or said persons. And so it would be, okay, you might get a personalized message from an actor of our choice.
Yeah.
Right?
From
if we were to do something like that.
For the Faction Allegiance videos we did for the campaign, the actors, were saying, this is so-and-so, thank you for supporting whatever faction in Victory's life. That was basically just who was, like, at the convention I was at and was willing to do it. And so we got really lucky that we got some people who were really cool, who were interested in that. And, we reached out to a couple others.
I know that Robert Beltram, Chakotay, is on Twitter, and he does it for $50.
Yep.
So for $50, he'll give you a personalized message.
Yep.
I think
like a voicemail or something, if you want.
Whatever you want for $50, will give you a personalized message.
Cool.
And I think Garrett Wong might do it too.
There's a couple celebrities do the voice act. I got my wife a birthday message from the voice actress for Azula.
And see if he'll hit me, give me a voicemail. Peace Stew, Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah, Peace Stew.
Peace Stew.
Stew. For those of you who are down with the stew.
That's his hip name.
Yeah. So Michael Cormier is the lighting 1.0 issue.
If we ever get him, you were so fired if you call him P Stew.
You think Al's kidding, and Al is laughing right now. He's not kidding. Like, that is one of those things where Al would be like, and then walk Patrick Stewart out of the room and walk back in and be like, "You're fired." And then Jeremy would laugh just like that, and Al would be like, "No, you need to leave."
And then I'd cry.
Somebody was asking about the lighting on DS9. We answered that earlier in the stream. Go into your settings, go to graphics, turn off shadows, hit apply, turn on shadows, hit apply. That should help. If it doesn't, we're looking into it. We promise we'll hopefully have something soon.
It does help. We're looking into it.
Well, it doesn't happen apparently on all hardware.
No.
So
Yeah, it's not just a lighting 1.0. It's just
it's happening to enough people that we're hearing multiple complaints about it.
Right.
But it's happening to people
But
on
it's not
certain
happening to all
hardware.
the people.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're trying to track that
Inconsistent
down.
bugs are the hardest to fix.
Yeah, because we can't repro it here.
Yeah.
Send us your computer and we'll fix it.
By throwing it out of a window. Let's see. Kiramaya, this is something for you, Jeremy. FedRoms and Fed Gems and FedRoms can't change the registry numbers on their Federation ships. Apparently.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's something to look into.
That's
It's
weird.
specifically on the ships that they couldn't previously fly
Right,
prior
I believe so. Yeah.
to Victory's Life?
Yep.
That's interesting. I'll
Yeah.
look into it. I'm not sure why that would be restricted.
Yeah. Danny Keith, an STO source book for the Star Trek Adventures tabletop RGB would be awesome.
I think I just
Yes,
figured
it
it out.
would. Oh, good. He's already solved it, guys. Yes, it would, and that's something we really want to do. Maybe someday. Who knows? Let's see. Will we be adding Kartakins, which are Jem'Hadar polearm melee weapons? Kartarkin. I mean, that'd be a cool reward for.
Didn't we do the
upcoming stuff.
Kartakins? Didn't we do the Jem'Hadar Polarms?
I thought we didn't. I thought we
Matt
did.
was working on them.
Yeah,
Maybe they didn't make it in for this batch of Victory's Life content.
possibly.
Maybe they're for
We should
later.
ask about that when we get downstairs.
The Kartakins should be in the game at some point.
Yeah.
I thought they would have even been in the store or starting.
I mean, I think I know where they're supposed to be, so I guess I'll have to look into it
Okay.
when we get done with the stream.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Cardassian uniforms, though. It might at some point have become something we couldn't do in time and
Yeah.
had to chop.
Let's see.
Solving all kinds of problems here.
Yeah. Trying to see. Alarin, no, I don't believe that we'll ever be adding. Well, I don't want to say ever, but we won't probably be having Federation and Klingons able to fly Romulan ships anytime soon. That vice versa was done because the Jem'Hadar would be able to do it, and we felt like leaving the Romulans out would suck
It's
for
not,
Romulans.
don't count on it being a free for all.
Yeah,
Right.
that would be weird. Yes, Figamus, the bug of NPCs getting stuck in quarks and the exchange is known. We thought we fixed it. I don't know why it didn't get fixed, but they're working on refixing it.
I have a theory, but I'm not going to say it here because it's...
Sure.
Yeah, I'll go talk to somebody
Yeah.
else about it.
Okay. Philip117. We actually can't go into more depth about why the Victory's Life story is very Jem'Hadar-centric other than the opening episode because you haven't played the full story yet. So, sorry. But, you know.
It's yeah.
That's why the
it's-
current Tenebris Storkent ends with a ominous to be continued.
Yeah.
I mean, I can. I mean, what you can say of what you've experienced so far is you have Dukon Rex, and spoilers. You have a little spoilers thing.
Mhm.
Yes, thank you. Spoilers. Dukon Rex is if you should recognize him as he was the baby that was found on Deep Space Nine that Odo had found.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Same actor.
Same actor plays that
Mhm.
character now. Plays that character Dukon Rex, and he's kind of the mirror of the player. So you're going through this journey together as a Jem'Hadar and him as a mentor Jem'Hadar, and he's experiencing events and communicating his feelings to you because he's much more mature. He's been mentored by Odo to be a little more free thinking. And so there's an experience that's personal as a Jem'Hadar that he comes and talks to you. If you play Victory's Life as a Federation character, it's slightly different than if you play as a Jem'Hadar. You get different contacts and different bits of information.
Same with Klingons.
Same with Klingons too. But Jem'Hadar specifically is a Dukan Rex story that you're talking with him giving you he's being a mirror to about what's going on and what he's thinking, and it's kind of what you're thinking, kind of thing, and that doesn't work for anybody else. That doesn't work for a Vorta or any other species, and or a Cardassian or a Breen or anything like that. So it's a story. It's a personal story of a wise veteran.
And if anyone out there has played the current content, like everything up through the current Tenebris Torkin episode, and you're still if it's not clear to you or you're not getting the subtext, that's understandable. You know, storytelling is hard. Come back to us after the finale, and we just ask you to keep an eye out for well, when this storyline has concluded. I mean, we did say to be continued. There's going to be another episode. At least one.
Really? I thought we were shutting it down.
Close it up. You heard it here first. Mike's in charge, so apparently we're
that's
shutting down. Yeah, so stay tuned for the continued story of the Dominion.
Yeah. Are we aware that the bridge crew gets stuck in the hangar during the opening mission? We're aware the bridge crew gets stuck all kinds of places in the opening mission. We're working on it. That's one of the things that we know and are trying to fix. Will Quark ever sell Kelpian burgers? I think that's beyond even Quark. Like, I think even Quark would be like, yeah, I can make some latinum on... No, I just can't. I just can't.
No, and like Kelpians don't even make good burgers. I mean, they're really better, much more.
They're really stringy.
In soup, much better in soup.
Yeah.
Or maybe like over rice.
A little, but as a burger, no, the consistency's all wrong.
Yeah.
No, if you grind that up, it gets really mealy. And it just falls apart too.
It's not
good.
But
really,
Mirror Quark might sell it though.
Mirrorlita would sell it in a heartbeat.
Did we ever meet any Mirror Ferengi? I can't recall any.
Yeah.
Brunt. Mirror Brunt was quite a gentleman.
They all died.
Quark,
all the Mirror Ferengi are dead. So I think Quark, Ron, Brunt, and Og are all dead in the Mirror Universe.
Great.
Just to put this up there, Disco Lando would like Quark's lucky 8 through 27, please. So Heffernax, I've seen that your post a few times now. There's a couple of things to say to that. One, player housing is not something we're really working on anytime in the future. I won't say never because you never know, but really your ship is kind of your house.
Ship bridges were basically player housing that really didn't get fully realized.
And the answer to your first question of can we also share ideas? No. I mean, like, yes, you can. Please tweet us the stuff you guys want to see. Please talk to us. But, like, there's been some things, like, somebody once sent us a really well thought out, like, 30-page, like, here's how I would design a certain set of ships for Star Trek Online. And we couldn't even open it because legally, if we'd read it, it would have meant that if we'd ever created something similar, they could sue us.
Right.
So it's hard. We
want
want your input.
This is a very. You're right. This is a very dangerous line. But I will say that's how Thomas the Cat got a job here.
It's true.
Because we bought his design.
But we bought it. Yeah. So he sent in some stuff. He sent in some UIs for some mini games. One of which is the Waveform mini game, and the other 9 we never got around to doing.
Yeah. But someday.
and we paid him for it, and then opened up a dialogue, and ended up hiring him. But yes, we can't. But I think did he just post it? I think he just posted it.
Yeah.
So he just made it. So he made it public as opposed to sending us directly.
Yeah.
And
if it was privately solicited, that conversation might not have happened.
It might not have happened. It might not have even opened it.
Yeah.
So that's So it's probably just not really.
It's one of the same reasons. Like
I think you should just apply for the job.
Like. CBS, somebody mentioned at the last year's STLV, like, what do you do about private writers that would like to become a writer for Star Trek or would like to do a book? And they answered quite honestly, if they get manuscripts that are not solicited, that are
have to throw them out.
They have to just throw them away.
Yeah.
They can't open them because if they use any element of that story, that's potential legal troubles that it's not worth getting into.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but Figimus, that there's a whole legal can of worms in there that I'm not qualified to answer. He was asking if you could sign a waiver and then send it in. It's like that's just it's
one of the same reasons that I don't do any voice. Like I think that legally under our SAG contracts, I could do 10 hours or something of pickups and stuff. But why get in trouble? Why risk it?
Yeah,
there's no reason to put yourself at risk for a legal issue when you can just as easily just say no.
Yeah.
And if you ask a lawyer any question, they always say no.
Yeah.
It's,
The answer is no.
The answer is
Yeah.
always no. It's like, would it be okay if we just no? And that's just so they always.
Even if you might find a way to make it okay, it's just so much easier to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Someone says a grill commission with Worf would be great because they're married in prune juice bliss. I agree. We don't talk about upcoming content, but I love the phrase prune juice bliss, so I had to say it out loud. Let's see. Thomas Elkin says hiring Thomas was a smart move. I agree. Everyone
Thomas
agrees with
does
that.
as well.
Yeah.
He does a lot of work.
Yeah.
He does a lot of work. He does a lot of work.
Yeah. Let's see. There was some stuff up here that I wanted to. Philip117 wants to know if any of us are going to be at STLB this year. Definitely, I am. Are you guys definitely? Have we know that?
I most likely will be there.
Got my hotel room booked already since last year.
Right there, so.
Yeah. So I've already got mine booked too.
Yeah.
Karaya Maya has tried to copy and paste that we knocked the expansion out of the park, and they're having a blast with it 3 or 4 times. So I want to make sure we get that said out loud.
Thank you.
Philip117. Here's an interesting one.
Was that a reference to baseball? Cisco's favorite pastime?
I think you might be stretching for that one.
He said we knocked it out of the
I
park.
think you might be stretching for. Anyway, Philip117 wants to know if we're continuing the Victory's Life story, are we going to be doing how much more Victory's Life are we going to be doing? And we can't really answer that, but we can sort of say
There's
more Victory's Life coming, and then there's something new coming after that we can't talk about
at some
all.
point.
Yeah.
As long as the game stays open,
Yeah.
Mike. Don't shut us down.
I won't probably. Kenny Ambrose, can I have a T-shirt? You know what? Yes. Message us your address. I'll send you a T-shirt. Just him though. Nobody else.
That's it. One ask per stream.
Yeah. Well, I used to do giveaways on these all the time. I should get back to that. I have a whole
Sure.
pile. I have a whole pile next to my desk of giveaways for this stream that Al referred to as a pile of trash once. And I was like, no, it's items. They're valuable Star Trek. I see your point.
One man's trash is another man's latinum.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's one of the rules of acquisition.
BGOG, the servers were bounced last night because we were fixing an exploit, and that's pretty much all I can say about that.
We've also learned our lesson to never publicly call it bouncing again.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, well, we're getting close to the point where I know Al has to take off because it's 5:32. And
I'm a
I
slacker.
don't want to
No,
throw
apparently
it
I need to
throw it
fix
on the screen, but
registry
I'm seeing a lot of questions come through right now that are like either can we have the thing or like jokes, and I love your jokes. I love joking around with you guys, but give me some questions that I can ask these guys that they can get to.
I did see somebody earlier on ask if there were any intention to reduce or change the amount of XP required for level
Just
6
came up, I was gonna ask that.
mastery.
Yeah,
Oh, it just came up again?
just came up again. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the short answer is no, but we're watching it.
Yeah.
Like, I personally like the level of investment that's required for it right now. I think that it's doing pretty much what I wanted it to. It gets you to invest in the ship. It makes it justified that this ship that honestly should have been Jem'Hadar only to begin with now does have an avenue of being unlocked on your other characters. I think but we're keeping an eye on it just to make certain.
Yeah. Sir Boulevard with the important question of when you're cameoing as Kurland on the next Pathfinder Adventure stream, which that's a Kurland cameo we could do. We should do that.
Thomas question: can we get a Kardashian theme UI for color theme for UI? No. It is a ridiculous amount of work for the UI team to do. It is absurd.
I believe that a color is still a lot of work, but I think might be less than some of the like edge treatment changes and stuff like that.
But it's still an insane.
It's still a lot of work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Let's see. What type of Jem'Hadar did we each make starting out? I made a tactical because I feel like I've got a Romulan engineer and a Federation science, so I felt like I was okay going back to tactical again.
I made a really tall, skinny, lanky science officer with
Makes
a bit
sense.
of a punch.
Makes sense.
You made it.
Yeah.
You made it punchy.
I mean, the
punchy Jem'Hadar.
the morph restrictions on Jem'Hadar are pretty tight. Like, there's not a lot of variants you can do, but I didn't want to look like just another rank and file Jem'Hadar. So
You wanted a Borticus looking.
he was
Jem'Adar because you're a little Borticus
my
character.
little gray
Your
alien
little gray
character.
alien.
Yeah. I just wanted to look different.
It's like different. J Huddle 1, we know about that. And we're fixing it.
wanna
Al,
know-
did you make a Jem'Hadar?
Yeah, I made a
What,
Jem'Hadar.
what kind did you make? You didn't answer the question.
Oh, I always make engineers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always.
But I wanted Millie Vanilli dance because I got the guy with the long hair. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
Millie Vanilli dance for emotes.
Yeah, I made a
Weston
van.
can do that.
I made a Vanguard, and the first thing I changed was that hairdo. I was like, no, no.
You don't want the long hair? I
Yeah.
heard somebody refer to it as victory in the front and life in the rear.
Yeah, that was good. That was great. Will the new hair and beards be accessible to us? I saw somebody asking about this specifically about
No, we don't know.
Bashir's beards earlier, which the actors, all the stuff on the actors, that's not made using a custom editor. That's their
Yeah.
face is sculpted in ZBrush, so that
Yeah.
making that
It
stuff
doesn't
into
come
player
off.
stuff is not.
It comes
good.
off. It comes.
Yeah.
This
doesn't
comes
come
off
off.
easier.
Yeah. Ah! Why? Eric Jem says, Jeremy, thank you for all your hard work. The two of us are chopped liver, though. Just
do, so
Jeremy.
we suck.
Yeah.
Jeremy does all the hard
Jeremy,
work. He
yeah.
does all the hard work. I just make him do it. So that's my hard work.
I work
Do
hard.
it.
Whatever, you guys.
Like, not all.
Wait,
I was here for
gratitude
12
rolls
hours
downhill?
yesterday.
I don't think that's
It's
how
a
it works.
It's a Futurama thing. It's like all the work done by children, so not the whipping. So I do all the whipping.
Can we give the Klingon chef a soundbite? Maybe we will one day, but for right now,
he's supposed to
came
get.
up.
He's supposed to get
a singing, an accordion?
Yeah, it's supposed to get.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be an ambient.
okay. But that animation is amazing. That made me so happy when I saw
And
that.
that's yet another one of Weston's.
Yeah,
above and
and that was like
beyond.
2
Nobody
days
asked for
before
really.
launch that
Yeah.
he got that done too. It was
That was
so
another
good.
In fact, I think we specifically said don't do this
And
because
then
it
he
was
did
a
it.
request that came in like 2 months ago or something about
Yeah.
can we do this, and everybody was like don't.
Yeah.
I
Too
actually
much.
don't know how it happens. 'Cause
It's
I
'cause
don't know where
Weston,
it came
it's
from
magic.
and who did it and how it happened.
He does a backflip, and then there's more emotes.
And so all of a sudden we have a accordion
Yeah.
playing
Um,
Klingon Delhi
Yeah.
owner.
Philip says I should try to stream 24/7 while I'm doing my job normally. Have you guys ever seen the movie The Truman Show? Wouldn't be like that.
There's a quick question about Wingman being linked.
Oh, yeah.
We're aware that becomes unlinked, and we're looking into it.
Okay. Jem'Hadar buffs. That's a question that's come up a whole bunch. Are we ever adding more of them to the game? And how will people get them if we do?
How many more do you need? You have them all. You can
Yeah.
go buy
I don't know.
more.
People want more. I don't know.
I don't understand. I mean, you can go to the vendor and buy more.
Somebody was
buffs.
saying they've got their bridge
You
officer on
can't.
too many
You
stations.
can't currently buy
Yeah.
more Jem'Hadar buffs.
We can't.
No, we didn't do it.
This is where the whipping comes in.
Right, yeah.
We should have some Jem'Hadar buffs that you can buy.
Okay.
I thought they were. I don't remember now.
Yeah.
Things happen fast, and
Mhm.
you just
Life
trust
comes at you
people.
fast.
Yeah.
John Sparks Jr. wants to know the genesis of the wingman mechanic.
I made him do it.
Yeah, it mostly came from you, actually. It was like at one point during our early content, like white boxing, one of the missions you had 2 other like raiders, attack ships, flying alongside you, helping you out with the mission.
So the
And
tutorial.
we at this
I
point
want to
hadn't-
capture that from the tutorial.
yeah, and we at that point hadn't really finalized what the Jem'Hadar ship's mechanic was going to be, and so you were like, "I love my wingman.
Yeah.
Let's do it."
Doing them.
And it kind of just started from there, and
Then all the details is entirely him and his team.
Yeah.
So that's where.
but that was the genesis of the idea.
On a note, similar to the things we were saying earlier about what questions not to ask on this stream, if you phrase any question ever with a name of a thing and then just the word "when" on the end, that question will never be answered by
Never.
anyone.
or when in the beginning too.
Yeah, but really, "when" on the end just really drives
Oh,
me up the
that's
wall.
just more. That's just more
Yeah,
rude.
really.
That's it.
So if you want to rephrase that question, I might come back to it. Let's see.
Orbital devastation. I'm aware of that.
Okay. Is there a headquarters
Turns
planet for the
into
Jem'Hadar? The
plasma,
Jem'Hadar
turns into
social
plasma.
zone is Deep Space Nine, and that's by design. We wanted them to be able to hang out on DS9 with you
Yeah.
guys.
I think at some point it was discussed to do like a flotilla sort of thing at one point, but then it would have just separated them, segregated them, and not a great idea.
Yeah. No. It makes.
Get everybody in together.
Yeah.
It's an MMO. Play
and,
together.
and DS9's cool, and we spent a lot of time remaking
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
spend
Enjoy
time.
it.
Spend time there.
Stephen Wright, yes, Jem'Hadar Tunes will be able to go back and complete all the earlier missions.
Yes, you have to finish the arc first.
Yep, and then you can. Ragnat says Mike Fadum gets a raise when? That question will get asked.
He's in charge. He gets to decide.
Oh, great.
You
Okay.
said never.
I am a fickle and capricious god. Let's see. Can Jem'Hadar have a transwarp to DS9? I don't see why they shouldn't have a transwarp to DS9.
Doesn't
That's their
everybody have a
social zone.
transwarp to DS9?
I don't.
Okay.
Is it something? I think it's something you have to unlock from somewhere in the game.
Oh, you mean like as their home?
Yeah, because
Like-
all the other factions have transwarps to their
Yeah,
home.
it seems like something we should have done.
Yeah, we should do that. Okay, we're gonna do some stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's make it a finale reward. Something like that.
So they have to wait
Have
until
to wait.
You have to wait till the finale.
then they have
Oh
to
yeah,
just fly
DS9
manually.
transform appears if you get tier 4 diplomacy apparently.
Oh.
So you got to get it if you're a Gemidar. We should probably just get that at the start.
Probably.
Star Trek Online Serious Command. Yes, actually, they're asking if any of the awesome maps that we've added in the last year will end up in the Foundry. They will, and they will because Maria just trained me on how to do that, and she's training me on how to do costumes and props too. So, in my spare time. I will
Along
get
with
as
that-
much
along with that
the
project
other
from
giant
8 months
project.
ago?
Yeah, I will be doing my best to get you guys as much new Foundry
So
content.
it
as
sounds
we
like
can
you
get
guys
there.
are getting this stuff right away.
Yeah.
That stuff they'll probably get faster than the project that's been taking me 8 months, because I at least have one thing done already from our lesson.
Or,
that
I
can
mean,
throw
if
out
they
there.
want it quicker, they just need to figure out a way to make you less busy. Like, stop bugging you so much.
but that's my job.
Yeah.
And besides, if they stop bugging me, you know who they're gonna bug, right?
Ah, crap.
Let's see. Any plans to fix? Yes, we already answered that. Yes, there are plans to fix the cluster of NPCs in the exchange room on DS9. Salazar Rays. Yeah, the bridge interior from the first Victory's Life mission is the bridge interior from the Vanguard ships.
Yes.
So if you get a Vanguard ship, you'll get that bridge.
Didn't we update the old ships too, or the old?
No.
the old
No,
ones
no,
keep the
you
old
did
bridges?
not.
Okay.
No, please do.
No,
I
I
fly
don't
an
think we
old
want
Gemidar
to.
ship.
I don't think we want to.
But please do.
Fly the old one.
Why the old
That's the cost.
I hate
You want the new bridge, fly the new ships.
you. All right, fine. Let's see. Who created the expressions for Garrick? Weston. Weston did all that. He's
Weston
amazing.
is special.
And he
Those are called. What are those called? Those are called.
Dances?
No, that's stances in the. They're called
contacts?
in the contact dialogue. They're called
headshot style.
headshot
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
They're called headshot styles, and Garrick just didn't look right because Garrick always smiles and does
Yeah.
and like and has this attitude that's really special about him, and so
When we first
he just-
got the head sculpt of Garrick in too, it was just weird because he wasn't
Grumpy.
smiling. He was,
Yeah.
he's
That's
very
all.
he looked like a very angry Cardassian. It's like this is not Garrick, so
Yeah.
yeah.
so he made a special shot style just for
Yeah.
Garrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
When are we getting our pilot seating flyable Tarek Noor? Tomorrow. I don't know if you guys saw that. Thomas and I were showing off the skins, and in order to show off the Mirror Universe one, we just changed the ship I was flying into Mirror TS9. And so then I was flying a pilot ship, so I did a barrel roll.
That's
That was
awesome.
great. That's great. I'll show you the clip later.
That's the best ever.
Yeah. What's the bridge we see in the background of the Dominion character creator? That is actually
That's not
a
a bridge.
character creation. So also,
Yeah, that was a tough one because we were building that and it was because we had to build one for each one and we said, Jim and I don't have a window on their
Yeah,
bridge.
no.
So how are we gonna
We've never
Yeah.
seen a shipyard or anything.
no?
like that
So
there,
he just made it up.
Yeah, Donnie just made it.
Just made it up because we
the-
had to do it. But
those all the character select screens I discovered are actually ground maps in the game. So I've used Dev Magic to run around them before. None of them have any geometry whatsoever. So you log into them
It's
and
all
you just
like-
fall forever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're fun to look at.
Yeah.
Um,
It's all dev magic.
Yeah, Bullet 01, we know. You're late to the stream. We're fixing it. Let's see. Do we know the SS Azura mission is broken for Jem'Hadar? We cannot get into the instance. No, we did not know that,
Nope.
but thank you for letting us know. We will get that onto the
how is
fix-it list.
how is it broken?
They cannot get into the instance.
They
They,
can't
get,
get into
they
it.
get to the mission and they just can't go in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Daniel
That
Smith
sounds
says
like
he
a
loves
bug.
this game. It's brilliant. He just wants to say a huge thank you to all of you for awesome job, best game ever. Thank you, Daniel Smith.
Thank you.
Exciter, the Gemidar space trait will be fixed in an upcoming patch. We know about it and have fixed it.
Can we have more ground and space NPCs with reputation gear on them in the content themed around said reputation? So I don't know who, if the person asking this question played Star Trek Online a long time ago, but it used to be that you'd see an incredibly wide variety of different character costumes and things throughout the game. We just made the decision years before I got here that we wanted everything to be more consistent and to feel more like Star Trek, where
Yeah,
during
like
one
the
era of Star Trek, everybody has the same uniform.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so Thomas actually went through and did a huge effort in getting the Odyssey uniform
Yeah, huge
on everybody.
standardization pass.
And it was one of the biggest projects we've ever done, even though it seems like such a small thing. And I don't think we'd go back from that.
Well, I think what they might be asking is like when we do a new, like we just released the Gamma reputation, maybe having an NPC somewhere that's a contact that is wearing the armor from that.
yeah.
I think that might be what they're asking more about. Like we did do that for the Omega rep. There's Roxy on Ops is wearing one of
Yep.
the Omega Rep gear sets. So that's one of those things that just comes down to finding the right place to put it.
Yep.
We don't want to just make a random NPC wearing a thing for no reason, because then they look really interesting and you want to talk to them and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of managing expectations on both sides.
Yeah. Whereas if you see somebody running around in the armor, you can at least right-click on them and go inspect and see what it is.
Yeah,
and
or
figure
ask
out how to
them,
get it.
send them a message and ask them where they got it.
Talk to other people.
Yeah,
I
it's an
understand.
MMO.
I don't understand.
Be social.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Let's see.
That's an interesting- that's an interesting
SFC 100 says that KDF Jem'Hadar can't play the KDF story arc, but Fed Jem'Hadar can play Fed story arcs like Stranded in Space. That sounds like a bug, not a design decision, and we will look into that.
Go figure that a game with 8 years worth of content has a little bit of hankiness to it.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's see. Any more lifetime sub perks coming or no? Maybe. That's the thing we'll look at more as in the future.
Maybe.
Yeah. Let's
Maybe.
see. Smutter, don't use the word snowflake unironically to describe another person. It's just don't do that.
No,
Just don't.
That's not Star Trek.
Yeah, that's very not Star Trek. Lots of people asking about color changes to Mako uniforms because we brought up Mako uniforms. Nobody here is a character artist, so we can't answer that question, but I'll talk to them about it, see if it's something they can do. Was the cutscene tech upgraded for Victory's life? No, we just got
No.
Weston, and he's really freaking
That is
good at his
really
job. Weston was upgraded for Victory's life. We 3D printed him for game print and put him in a desk, and he started making amazing cutscenes. Let's see. I think because the way that question was asked, I just want to be clear. Every cutscene in the game is hand animated. Like, there's not like we don't have a make
no
Garrick
mocap.
and Bashir do stuff. Enter.
Yeah, we don't use
thing.
motion capture or
Yeah.
anything like
Yeah.
that either.
So
there was 2 steps in making the cutscenes better. The first thing is that we fully storyboarded everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
true.
new with the process.
Yeah.
this time
So
around.
we had it. So me,
One of our environment artists helped out with all. He's got
a
film student
film
background.
background. Yeah. So I said, why don't you do some storyboarding for us?
yeah,
And
that's
so
been super cool.
so yeah, that made things a lot easier. And we basically and then we got Weston, who's absolutely amazing, and we just stopped having designers do it because they're not artists. And so so that was the 3 things. Is like let's let an artist do it instead of a designer. Let's storyboard it,
Yeah.
and let's get an awesome animator. And that's how that did that. So yeah, you can look forward to more of that.
Yeah.
There's actually over 45 minutes of cutscenes in Victory's life. It's almost 50 minutes of cutscenes in
God.
Victory's life. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah. Let's see.
It's too bad they keep getting.
We should auction off the storyboards for charity. We've actually been doing that with Champions, some of their old storyboards, but the storyboards
Ours on
are actually on whiteboards, so we can't because they got erased. Captain Senti says Quark peeking over the box is a great animation. I think that is my favorite too.
Yeah.
Again, spoilers, but that was the thing that made me belly laugh the most. I was like, oh, the cutscene's got a bug. Quark's not here. And then he peeks out, and I was like, oh, awesome. Let's see.
I think my favorite, and a lot of others, is Lek walking away from the explosion.
Here's a little story I'll share with that. When Weston made that cutscene, he shared it at our team's all hand meeting.
Yeah.
And he put the sabotage music on. So while he's doing the thing, he's like trying to explode the console, and he's talking to Rom. You hear the and then he turns around and goes, "Whoa!" And when it blows up, and it was so epic. We contacted them to see if we could license the music. Because technically, it's canon.
Yeah, it's classical music.
It's classical music, but it was way too much money.
Yeah, I figured.
So it was so funny.
That's too bad. That
Yeah.
would
We could have just put
amazing.
Magic Carpet Ride under it.
We could have put that right, but because that's canon too. See, so if it's in there, then it becomes canon.
Yeah.
But music is really hard.
Yeah, I
It's
still can't
very
believe we
expensive.
got Magic Carpet Ride for the
for
first content thing.
for reasonable stuff.
Yeah. Okay, well, guys, I appreciate
time
a
to
lot
go.
of love coming in, but unfortunately, I do think we have to get these guys back to work, and I still have stuff to do today. So thank you very much for joining us for another 10 Forward Weekly. We'll be back next Wednesday at 4. I'm hoping next Wednesday to get Ryan and Weston together for a Quark's Lucky 7 specific stream.
That would be a fun
I think
stream
that'd be a lot
to
of fun.
talk about that.
Lucky 7
but
Love
maybe,
Fest.
maybe you
Yeah.
can get maybe you can add. I don't know. It's really crowded in here. I don't know if we can get another
Yeah, I don't know
person.
if we can get
get
three in.
Paul in as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
We'll see what we can do. Maybe I can back the camera up a bit. Make a longer bar down
Make a
here.
longer bar.
Anyway, guys, thank you
Okay.
very much for joining
Yeah.
us. I hope you had fun. We will thank you guys very much for joining us.
thank you.
And we
Thank
will
you for-
talk to you next
Thank
week.
you. Thank you for playing.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.